I want to thank you again for joining me this morning. It was time-consuming, I know. It's old-fashioned going to church, especially here with this joint service we do every year. Some would say it's unnecessary. It is definitely kind. I love being here to preach each August, and I know Justin enjoys it equally. It's beautiful inside with its trompe-l'oeil paintings and reed organ. It is beautiful outside with the meadows, the farmland, the trees. We've gathered here on cloudy, rainy days and bright, sunny mornings. It is a tradition, or one might say old-fashioned, a way that FRS and Hampton Falls have joined for, I don't know, a long time. In fact, when I came here, it was one of the things I was told I would do. Okay. It's one of the more simple things, which you'll hear more about. The minister of the First Religious Society, Unitarian Universalist in Newburyport, has been coming here, rain or shine, in all ages and stages of the life of the church and the churches and of their ministry, the lives of the people. Preaching here is also time-consuming, and it is kind. I love preparing and delivering these specific sermons because they can be so normal. One could even say, though I wouldn't, that they are unnecessary sermons. These late August sermons don't need to communicate a vital message of where the congregation is headed. They don't have to make an appeal for money. They don't have to try to solve the justice issue of the day. They can just be normal, even average, and I hope kind. These sermons can meander, they can wander, they can wonder, they can pause to consider daily living. And they are, in that normalcy, exquisite. So I ask, when did our pursuit of greatness become more important than knowing our exquisiteness? When did our pursuit of greatness become more important than knowing in our bones how exquisite we are? Greatness is sorely overrated in our society, at least in the middle and upper middle class, largely white neighborhoods along the eastern seaboard of the United States, from whence I come. Children are taught to pursue greatness, to be the best at whatever they try. This relentless pursuit of greatness has turned being average somehow into a failure. But I ask, how can everyone be great? What is average then? And I could talk at length about what happens to those students, for example, who don't have that bumper sticker that goes on the car that says, my child, grandchild, neighbor, whatever, is on the honor roll of this great school. Those children are exquisite too. And I could talk about what happens to the children whose grandparents, parents, neighbors, friends have 5 of those bumper stickers on their car that say, my child is on the honor roll, and the pain and anxiety those kids can feel to keep it up. What is average then? The truth is, thank goodness, we are not necessarily great. Certainly not in everything we do, nor throughout every aspect or time in our life. In fact, there's great research that I can't quote, but look it up, about the results of this greatness and pursuit of greatness and perception of self-greatness so as not to feel less than, and what it's done to traffic accidents. Because how many people, if you ask them, how good of a driver are you? Everyone, or again, I'm not, largely believes they are a much better driver than they are. Again, the truth is we're not necessarily great in everything we do. This myth of greatness applies equally to adults as much as it does to children, including adults who are in the last decades of their lives. I want to talk about those folks for a moment. So many people worry as they near the end of their lives, and that could be 30, 40 years before or 4 days, but so many people, as they near the end of their lives, worry that they didn't do it right. The conversations we have break my heart. They worry that they've made mistakes, misprioritized. What is my legacy? They ask again and again. It is a fallacy that legacy is only for the great and the well-achieved. Your life, our life, is our legacy. Your ordinary, exquisite self is your legacy. That is more often true, by the way, for the people who are very accomplished, own a lot, achieved a lot. They ask the same questions. We don't miss greatness when people die. We miss their ordinariness. We miss their lumpy mashed potatoes, their tendencies to always know the answers. We miss their vulnerabilities, their smiles, which, if we're lucky, are on a wrinkled, older face. We miss their beloved face. Upon reading the title of my sermon this morning, FRS member Wendy Ford sent me an email sharing about how important the concept of normalcy is to her and her adult children. And with her permission, I share her words. She wrote and she said, "The very word normalcy has held special meaning for me ever since my fabulous husband, who had to go all too soon, said, just after we received the devastating diagnosis, that it was all that he wanted, normalcy." I suppose I'm always trying, Wendy writes, I suppose I'm always trying to keep his spirit alive, or at least available. He was extraordinary, and his wish for normalcy truly did set the children and me down such a healthy path. She wrote, "You probably have your sermon, Reverend Rebecca, for Sunday all set, but I couldn't help noticing this subject. I believe that my book, her book, which is entitled Normalcy, is still on the FRS website, and I just wanted you to know that you are welcome to any part of it that you might find helpful." Thank you, Wendy. When my own father died just a few months ago, I was surprised, not that I'd necessarily thought about it. He wasn't a person of many material possessions at all, by choice. However, I was surprised that there were two things of his that I wanted. I wanted anything. Sorry. Sorry. This was very recent. I won't talk about it a lot for a while. I wanted anything that had his handwriting on it. Anything. I didn't care what it said. I just wanted to see his handwriting and hold it in my hand. And I wanted one of his flannel shirts, which I can promise you is not what he wore to IBM. I didn't care about his big accomplishments. I didn't want his diplomas from prestigious schools or his work awards. I wanted to feel him, see his message, and remember his everyday, normal, exquisite, flawed self. In addition to blinding us to the exquisiteness of life, the pursuit of greatness feeds the myth that we are alone and somehow flawed, while everybody else has it all together. I can assure you this is not true, nor should it be. I learned a long time ago that there is nothing any of us experience, feel, question, or believe that others don't also experience, feel, question, and believe. Perhaps not every person, though there are those things too that literally all humans will feel: grief, joy, resentment, jealousy. Even the most particular, unique situations and things that happen and feelings you have. The age at which something happens in your life, and on and on and on. There is nothing that others don't also experience, feel, question, and believe. We just must be brave enough to talk about those things appropriately, and lucky enough and committed enough to having close community and friends who talk about their experiences too. Think for a moment about the myths of perpetual good health or a particular size or abled body if you only eat the right thing. It is human to be imperfect, flawed, average, aging. It is human to be normal. It is human to be exquisite at the same time in our normalcy. These are liberating truths. So here on this exquisite Sunday, I am grateful that we get to be normal together. We get to rejoice in what Richard Rohr calls the good, the beautiful, and the true. Let's celebrate the ordinary. Let's be the people who celebrate flannel shirts and jeans jackets, our favorite animal, dogs or fireflies. Let's celebrate sticky hands of children that leave a mess on window panes and kitchen cupboards. Let's celebrate our changing bodies, aching backs, making it harder to reach the shoes we tie. Let's celebrate what we can do and the exquisite world of which we are a part, and its fragility, its beauty, and need for us to care. I believe life created every part of creation, including you, to be exquisite, just the way you are. I don't believe that life gives a damn about greatness. I do believe that it celebrates our gifts and our efforts. So may we all remember the gifts of normalcy. May we make room to do things that are time-consuming, old-fashioned, unnecessary, and most definitely kind. Amen.